I think it's both really cool and really stupid that this movie is just an excuse to make 85 more movies in the future. Yes. Like the movie doesn't need to exist by itself, but it's like, okay, so now we're gonna set up this whole reason to make two realities collide, and then we're gonna set up another movie, and then we're gonna set up the post-credit scene that you're saying is probably gonna set up another fucking movie.
It's gonna set up a couple movies.
Okay, of course it does. Why wouldn't it? I mean, honestly, to be honest, no.
You know what I'm thinking? To be honest,
I'm thinking that we.
Welcome to the Joystick Show, episode 166. Surprise start.
Surprise.
You guys weren't ready for that.
I was not expecting it.
I just threw y'all into it.
Honestly,
not only did I throw you into it, I threw you into it as well. We're all into this right now. All of us.
We're throwing you into this like a hot honey bun on a summer day.
39 of us. We're all here, baby. The 36 of you and the 3 of us. Because that's the average, and we'll take it. Welcome to the Joystick Show. This is a show that's hosted by myself and my friends, where we talk about joysticks.
Correct.
And how important they are
to society.
And
here we're with Dr. Jerry De Jesus to talk about...
Who has a PhD in joysticks.
And he's talking about how joysticks can be used in the world of computer science.
Yes.
And to not talk bullshit for the next 30 seconds, welcome to our podcast. It'd be helpful if you guys could like this episode, if you could subscribe to Team Joystick, and if you want to check out some of the stuff we're talking about this episode, bam, right there.
Bam.
That's literally the stuff we're talking about this episode. Yeah. As I'm saying this, I realized that in the last episode I didn't put that up. Oh my god. I don't remember to do these things, Bobby. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, but it's definitely here this time. That was just like a little panic mode.
It'd be funny if it's never there again, and it was just like a thing.
Creative choice.
A Mandela effect.
Oh yeah.
It's like, did Joystick ever have the recap in the beginning?
Not for 165. That's my bad.
Yeah.
That one was rushed though. I had to make a couple videos that day. Regardless, we're here to talk some stuff. I'm very excited because I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. You know, last week when we joined here and Joy was here, we were talking about some Marvel stuff that
some superheroes,
and some more Marvel stuff came out. And
who would have guessed?
I want to talk about it, and the first thing I want to talk about is their movie that just came out, The Marvels.
Okay.
As we know, love them or hate them, Marvel has been in a bit of a decline lately, right? If we're looking back in the recent future, we had Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Thought it was a fantastic movie. But before that, you know, we had Wakanda Forever, which was also good. But then we had the real slugs in Love and Thunder, Thor 4, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Ant-Man and Quantumania. Just not great movies, right? Then Secret Invasion comes out, and people are like, oh my god, this show is not that great. Is Marvel dying? I'm happy to report that I thought The Marvels was pretty good. I give it like a solid 7 out of 10 right off the bat, just to say. What do you think, Jerry?
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. It was a cute little movie.
And I'm actually seeing a lot of people like saying that the movie's decent. Actually, right off the bat, this is not something I ever really critique about movies. But I couldn't help but notice, especially as I was watching it, there was just something about the Marvels. The CGI is really good in that movie. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many, like... I know that's not something that we're supposed to be looking for, and I talk about that a lot.
Yeah, and also, like, you can't really look for that.
But it was, like... I guess it was, like, a nice surprise,
yeah.
You know, to see something look so polished. Especially a movie that deals with, like, space and all that stuff. So I thought that was cool. And now that I've talked about that, allow me to mention that this will be a spoiler-ridden review.
Okay.
So spoiler alert, but we won't spoil anything yet. We'll tell you when we're about to, and then you can jump to the next chapter, which will also have spoilers in it too. But
so
just wait for now. We still got some stuff to hang on to, right? Right off the bat, I'm usually the movie review guy. Jerry, what was your favorite part of this movie?
There were a couple of things I liked about this movie. I think the thing that I liked... The relationship that I liked the most in the movie was probably like Kamala and Captain Marvel.
Like the fan.
Yeah, I like the. I wasn't sure how it was gonna like play out on screen, but I thought it was funny.
Well, one thing I really liked about that was what you said spot on. I thought that it translated to be really funny. And one thing that I will say, actually, I'm gonna say, if you want to not have it be spoiled, go away because we're probably. But one thing that I actually really, really enjoyed about the movie was the chemistry between all three of the actresses together.
Right.
Like, there's parts in the movie where it's kind of cheesy, but like one of the main gimmicks is that their powers are entangled. So whenever two of them or all of them use their powers at the same time, they switch places.
Yeah.
And it throws them off like what
That's
they're
an
doing.
Interesting gimmick for sure.
And it's an interesting gimmick, and there's like this whole training sequence where they're like learning how to get better at it. And granted, it's like pretty cheesy because like they're playing like double dutch and they have to learn to use their powers so they could be the one jumping and then be the one doing the rope and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting. Like the concept itself was cool. Also, I thought the action sequences were really cool. Like these 3-on-1 fights and stuff. I thought that was all really well done. Like overall, I thought the movie was pretty decent. I just don't think it was the best in the world, but I think it's a really big step up from the movies that they had put out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like what you said, I liked the whole kind of fangirl relationship between Kamala and Carol, Captain Marvel, and how it kind of also reflected the relationship of Monica to Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel is Monica's aunt.
Yeah.
And there was kind of like a dynamic where she looked up to Captain Marvel in a very similar way where Kamala looks up to her now. So it was almost like she doesn't want to fuck it up this time. Like she wants to be there for her. So the movie was actually written pretty well. I thought it was pretty good. One thing I will say, I think the villain was a little forgettable. I mean, I feel like if
So I as someone who knows very little
yeah.
about this movie, besides like the trailer and the little bit I know, who is the villain?
Yeah, so
who it like because
it's Darbell. Yeah.
It's made up.
It's more so like you remember like her race, like
it's the you've seen Guardians 1?
Yes.
And you've seen Captain Marvel?
No.
Well, you've seen Guardians 1.
Yes.
You know the bad guy, the big blue guy with the hammer?
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of the generals for the Kree Empire. It's like this really big alien race that exists in the Marvel Universe. And they just kind of pop up every now and then, and they're like the bad guys.
That's who this is.
And they just find someone to represent them. So this villain, she is like the new representative for the Kree who takes command after she just kind of assumes command.
Okay.
She's a good villain, but she's just forgettable. You know what I mean? There wasn't they first of all, she doesn't even have that many like one-on scenes where you can really kind of like get in her headspace or anything like that. She's just kind of like bad guy, and you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I feel like the movie is pretty fairly littered with like the humor that people love to trash on, right? Like they love to say, oh, there's too many jokes in these superhero movies. I laughed my ass off a couple parts in this movie. Like there's actually some really funny parts. One part that had me crying in specific was like a really like dramatic, intense part where Kamala and Monica are falling from the sky. And because what happens is Captain Marvel flies up, but she uses her powers, and then
Bobby started laughing. Yeah,
so they're like literally plummeting to Earth, and Kamala's like, "We're gonna die." So she's like, "I have an idea," and she encases them in like this hard light ball to hope like harden the impact. And like right as the ball is about to collide with the ground, it turns back into Captain Marvel. So she hits the ground and she's fine because she's like ultra powerful. But as she hits the ground, fucking out of nowhere, Nick Fury's like, "Oh, cool, it's Carol," and she just fucking shredded me. It's like the quickest one-liner, but it's like so dramatic. It's like, oh, cool, it's Carol.
The quick switch.
Yeah, like it was really good. That's actually funny. I bring that up. Mentioned it to Jerry after the movie. I don't really know if it's a con, I would say, but it did feel weird for me specifically. Last week I reviewed Secret Invasion, which was a show that came out like 5 months ago. I was late to it. But in that show, the lead character is Nick Fury. It's heavily prevalent on Samuel L. Jackson's character. And in that show, it's very differently toned. It's very serious, and it's like this, straight-faced espionage story. So just the transition from seeing Nick in that light to being more of like the goofy, like, we gotta go to space, bitch, like that kind of, it was a weird transition for me personally. So I wouldn't say it's a con, but it was just strange, just I guess how the things are paced.
Interesting.
And one last thing I will say before we get into like super spoiler territory.
Actual spoiler.
One thing I really, really like, I just really like not just Kamala as a character, but her family in general. Like her whole family is just a really good inclusion to the MCU, and I really hope we see more of them. Just because like, despite the fact that they're like, I think they're Pakistani, or just the fact that they're like a Jersey Muslim family, they feel really relatable at the same time with just how much they love Kamala, just want her to be safe and do well and all that stuff. So I just think that the inclusion of them is really awesome.
I mean, that's also just like a unique but also like specific type of like family to That's
so
pretty
now,
prevalent.
now let's get into the spoiler territory, because this is the fun stuff. Okay, if you really don't want to get shit spoiled for you, go to the next chapter, because this is some big stuff.
Okay.
The first thing that the movie spoils isn't, well, let's actually talk about how the movie ends. So at the end of the movie, the bad guy or the bad girl, she basically opens this giant tear in space, right? And then she dies.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally the amount of energy it took to open that tear kills her. So now there's this giant hole in space, and I'm like, okay. And then there's a part where one of the characters, I think it's Monica, explains that the hole is not just a hole, it's a tear through reality. And on the other side is a completely different reality.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they said that, I looked at Jerry and I was like, that's a fucking incursion. And incursions are important in Marvel because they're literally points where two realities meet each other.
Yes.
And if it goes too far, both of them get destroyed. And that's the entire basis of Secret Wars, which is where Marvel's leading up to. So as soon as I saw that, the fucking nerd film rumor guy that's in my head was just like, the Fantastic Four in that universe, the X-Men, Deadpool, like they're all there, you know what I mean? I was like, that's the bridge, you know? So the end of the movie is basically Monica absorbing the powers of both Captain Marvel and Kamala to use their powers to have enough power to, you know, close the hole. But she realizes when she's on the other side that she needs to stay on that side to fully close it. So Captain Marvel very dramatically like flies as fast as she can to try to save Monica, but at the last second it closes and the hole's gone. And Monica's trapped on the other reality. Okay. Which is interesting because now we have somebody from our reality, or rather the MCU reality, in the other one. So that's like a whole, you know, different thing. So the movie ends. It's like sad. They're like, we lost Monica, blah, blah, blah. And then the end of the actual plot of the film ends with like this touching moment where Captain Marvel and Kamala, Miss Marvel, are sitting in like the plane at Monica's old house. And Kamala's like, I thought we made a good team. And Captain Marvel's like, I thought so too. And she's like, that gave me an idea. And then it cuts to New York City, where we go to Kate Bishop's apartment, a.k.a. the new Hawkeye, being played by Haley Steinfeld. Yeah. And it basically reveals that they're putting together the Young Avengers, which is like the Avengers kids and all that shit. So pretty cool. I didn't know they were going to go that route, but that was sick. But then we get to the post-credit scene, Dylan. Then we get to the post-credit scene, Dylan.
So can I interrupt for a second? Go ahead. I think it's both really cool and really stupid that this movie is just an excuse to make 85 more movies in the future. Yes. Like the movie doesn't need to exist by itself, but it's like, okay, so now we're going to set up this whole reason to make two realities collide, and then we're going to set up another movie, and then we're going to set up the post-credit scene that you're saying is probably going to set up another fucking movie.
It's going to set up a couple movies.
Okay, of course it does. Why wouldn't it?
It sets up a lot of shit, Dylan.
I would say we're up to like 70 movies already.
Look, as much of
they have a whole second universe.
As much of a fan as I am of the MCU universe, I don't think there's been a bigger post-credit scene than this one. Like this one takes the cake.
All right.
So obviously the big question at the end of the movie is, where the fuck is Monica?
Yeah.
Monica wakes up in a hospital bed, and next to her is her mother, who in our universe is dead. She's died of cancer.
But in this universe
she's alive, and she's revealed to be binary, who's actually Monica. Like, that's her superhero name. But in the movie, that's like a running joke. Like, they can't figure out what her name's going to be.
So her mom's the superhero?
So her mom is her, like the superhero of that reality.
Okay.
Not only is her mom binary in that reality, she's in the fucking X-Men. And she's in the X-Men mansion, and Beast walks in with his giant fucking lab coat looking incredible. And he's like, we're glad that you're okay. Binary found you. Charles just texted me and he wants to do more lab work. And I'm like, let's fucking go. So finally the X-Men are in the Marvel universe, and we're going to be seeing more. They're in the movies, Jerry. They're in the movies, okay? We have one on the other side. Deadpool comes out next year. They were going to come anyway. So, but it was just really awesome because that's something that not just fans, myself, has wanted for fucking ever. And I love Beast, so to see him on screen was
now I just want them to like put everything together into one movie. And do you think they'll do that, or will they just continue, like, you know what I mean?
Like everything?
Like not everything, but I feel like in the future it's gonna reach a point where, like, okay, so these guys are in this movie, these guys are in that movie, they're in this universe, they're in that universe. There has to be like one. I'm not saying like a Avengers type situation, but just like a pinnacle movie that it's like they just throw everyone in it for fuck's sake.
Well, that's what it's leading up to.
Yeah.
Secret Wars is going to be the next Endgame, if not even bigger.
Okay,
because what Secret Wars happened, the whole story of Secret Wars is the incursion causes a leak in the comics between the regular Marvel universe and the Ultimate Marvel universe.
And everyone else that isn't in
like Peter meets Miles Morales, and they all meet like their counterparts and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why all of these shows and movies are setting up these counterparts of all these characters, because at one point they're gonna meet each other. So, I'm very excited.
Is Secret Wars the one where they have to? That's the one where it's like Doctor Doom's in it, and there's a team of villains and team of heroes.
Yeah. So there's 2 Secret Wars.
There's 2 Secret Wars.
Yeah, there was one that was done in the 80s and one that was done in the 2000s. But there's the one that's the MCU is shaping up to look more like the 2000s one. The 80s one was the one where Doctor Doom, well, it's not Doctor Doom, I forget who it is. Somebody basically transports all of Marvel's heroes and all of Marvel's villains onto a planet that's specifically designed for them to do battle in.
Oh, that's pretty
And whoever wins gets to have, like, I think a wish granted or something. But then in typical Doctor Doom fashion,
he's like, I'm going to steal that shit.
Yeah, he steals it and he becomes
in my head, it's Fortnite Island.
But honestly,
basically,
it was honestly Marvel's first way to get all of their properties together. So they were like, we could have the Fantastic Four with the X-Men and the Avengers with Spider-Man.
They could have just had a fucking all-star game. That's all they need to do.
Yeah. So then in the 2000 Secret Wars, that's the one where, like I mentioned before, where the Marvel counterparts meet their other counterparts from other universes, and it's like a whole multiversal situation. And Doctor Doom is also the villain in that, so he has to eventually get introduced.
He's the best Marvel villain.
He's the best Marvel villain. There's even theories that he's going to be like taking over Kang, if that's the case, need be. But long story short, Marvel's was a good movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. Good CGI, funny movie, a lot of fun, great action sequences, good chemistry. That's all I have to say about it. Solid post-credit scene. Loki, baby.
Rap.
You saw Loki season 1, right?
I saw season 1. I didn't watch season 2.
Do yourself a favor, Dylan. Watch Loki.
I'm not gonna lie. I did see like the middle of one episode because I walked into my brother's wife watching it, and I was like, whatever. I'll sit down and watch the rest of it. So I saw some, probably like it was like episode 3 or some shit.
Could you explain like anything that's happening to some degree? Because I could help you pinpoint.
No. It was no.
So point is, right? No. Loki season 1, great show.
Mm-hmm.
Loki season 2, incredible show. And like it didn't hit me until like episode 4, honestly speaking. Like episodes 1 through 3 are like necessary build up, but it's paced pretty well. There's there's good development, there's good dramatic conflict, blah blah blah.
Some
blah,
good
blah.
action.
But yo, episodes 4 through 6 could legit just be a movie, and I would be happy. Like that's how incredible this shit is. I already told Jerry some of this on the walk. Before I get into anything plot wise of the show is just great. The fucking visuals are some of the best I've ever seen out of Marvel. The production design is out of this world. If you thought the production design from Loki season 1 was great, Loki season 2 blows it out of the water. One thing I don't think I've ever really commented on, besides like the Guardians movies who use like actual licensed music, the scored music for Loki season 2 is out of this world. Like whoever composed that shit, they should win a fucking Emmy or whatever they win for that. Like that's crazy to me. The acting is incredible. Like it's a great show. It's just a great show. Like you know how I said last week that Secret Invasion was a good show?
Yeah.
This is like, dare I say, contention for awards.
Also good like costume design.
Absolutely.
Like weirdly enough, like that's the thing I also don't think is really special in Marvel movies, because it's always like just fucking superheroes and tights and shit, and I think that stuff can be lame at some points, especially if it's not like a well-designed suit. But like having like time travel and stuff like that, and getting it to the time,
and it's even like, interesting when you think of like the main quote-unquote super character being Loki, and then the whole show he just wears like a trench coat, like he doesn't even wear like,
and it fits the vibe too, so it works.
So great show overall. If you haven't watched it, you gotta do yourself a favor and you gotta watch it. I'm about to spoil it anyway, but seriously, do yourself a favor and watch Loki season 2. That being said, spoiler alert. Let's get cooking.
You should make like a new like spoiler alert like notification. Like have it just take up the whole screen.
I should, yeah. I'll work on it. So before I talk about the show, I want to talk about something that happened in comic books. Happened in the 2010s, like mid, I want to say, like 2013, 14. there is a storyline where Loki starts to change his colors. Loki's not as much of a villain anymore. He starts to become a bit of a hero. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
In the storyline in the comics, there's a pretty interesting transition point where Loki actually drops the moniker of being the god of mischief and instead becomes the god of stories. And he's kind of in charge of stories, like letting people have their own free will, making decisions, yada, 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 right?
Okay.
So in Loki Season 2, we're introduced to a device that's called the Temporal Loom. And it's essentially kind of like the heart of the Time Variance Authority.
Yeah.
It's like this big fancy machine that takes all these branches of different timelines and keeps them safe and makes sure that they don't die or whatever, right?
Correct.
And some shit goes down where basically they find out that the loom isn't big enough and that more time branches are being added and that the more that get added at some point, the shit is going to explode and it's going to destroy everything and it's going to be cataclysmic, right? So the whole thing is they have to fix this machine. But it's kind of like a whole series of problems that they have to fix. The first problem that they have to fix, and remember this, is Loki is having this issue where he's like involuntarily jumping throughout space and time. Like his body is like seizing and then he ends up in a different place. And they call it time slipping. So the first step is they have to fix Loki's time slipping. And they do. So they fix it. Cool. Kaboom. The next thing they have to figure out is they're like, oh, for us to open the doors to fix the problem, we need the DNA or whatever of He Who Remains, who is Jonathan Majors' character. Like the god of time, Kang, the Conqueror, essentially, who they killed. Mm-hmm. So they're like, that's going to be a problem because he's dead. But they're like, wait a minute. There's a variant of him that lives in Chicago in the 1800s, who's basically supposed to be like a rival to Edison and stuff.
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
this is the episode I saw.
So they get the variant who ends up being a good guy because obviously he hasn't gone through any of that, and he helps them basically using his knowledge design something to help them fix the temporal loom. And on top of that, since he has all the DNA and shit of the variant, he can open the doors. Yeah. So they're like, great, we got that. They get the thing fixed. They're about to go fix it, and they're like, who's gonna be the one to go out into the radiation field to fix the loom? And a couple people volunteer, but Victor, who's the variant of Kang, the Edison guy, he's like, I should do it. It's time to be brave. So they put him in the radiation suit, and it's like this really like dramatic, like he's going to save the day. And as soon as he walks out of the door, he just dies of radiation.
Wow.
Like he just gets evaporated.
Damn, I like this fucking jolly old chap of a man.
Yeah, so he just gets evaporated. And there's like this whole scene where everybody's like, what the fuck just happened? Like they're all just like in shock or whatever. Mm-hmm. And this is the end of episode 4. So this is where shit is like ramping up. The temporal loom like explodes, and that's how the show ends. It's almost like it was like a really stunning ending for a show because it's not like fade to black. It's just like explosion and then black, and then like a solid couple seconds of pause, and then the credits roll, and you're like, whoa, like what the fuck just happened, you know?
Yeah.
So then we go to the next episode. Now we're 5 out of 6. Loki wakes up, I don't remember where, just somewhere random, and he basically finds out that he's still alive and he's time slipping again through different areas of time and space. Okay. Yeah. So the problem that they fixed in the first episode has come back. Okay. And he doesn't know how to solve it. What's even weirder is now he's starting to jump through all the points in time and space where all those people that are from the Time Variance Authority, like Owen Wilson's Mobius, there's a new character played by Ke-Huy Quan named Ouroboros. Mm-hmm. He basically finds out where all those people actually come from in their respective timelines because they're variants too. Yeah, so you find out that Owen Wilson's character Mobius is actually named Don, and he's a jet ski salesman from Oklahoma. All this shit. You find out that Ouroboros' character is a science fiction writer from the 80s and all this stuff. So Loki's able to jump through all these different points of time and space to find where these people are. Mm-hmm. And he basically discovers at the end of this episode that that's not a coincidence. Loki actually has developed the power to travel through space and time, and he learns to control it. So what does Loki do with the power to control space and time? In episode 6, Loki fucking tries to save the temporal loom like 600 times. Okay, nice. Over and over as fast as he can. When it doesn't work, he asks Ke-Huy Quan's character, he's like, theoretically speaking, how long would it take? Damn, Hunter swung that door open. He was like, theoretically speaking, how long would it take me to learn everything you know about the science and stuff? Mm-hmm. He's like, decades, maybe centuries. And it's like centuries later. And Loki literally went through hundreds of years to learn it, and now he knows all of it himself to fix the problem himself. But you come to find out that no matter what he does, nothing fixes the problem. The loom is always going to be destroyed. And he basically goes even further back in time to right before the female version of him kills the Kang the Conqueror variant in season 1. And he's like, listen, we can't kill this guy because if we kill him, the world just ends. And there's this whole back and forth where he doesn't want to kill her, blah, blah, blah. So all Loki wants to do... Sorry, my cat really needs to use the bathroom. Hunter. I know, man. I know. Go. So fucking... So like I was saying... There's this whole part where Loki goes back to the end of season 1 where they killed Jonathan Major's character, and he's like caught in this confliction where he's like, I can't kill you because we need you alive, and I can't kill her because I like her, but I also can't just like not do anything about it. So Loki just decides in this grand moment to say fuck it, goes back to the moment where Victor Timely dies, and before Victor can get in the suit and go onto the platform to solve everything, Loki just walks out. And they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, I know what kind of god I need to be now.
Wow.
He goes onto the platform, and the first thing that happens, which is fucking cool, is he actually, using his magic, grows like the original Loki suit.
Okay.
So it goes from trench coat to being like long green cloak, the golden horns that come out and all that shit. And using his pure magic, he just destroys the temporal loom. And out of nowhere, it's just all these time branches just being left and dead and hanging around. And Loki just starts grabbing all of them and using his magic to branch them together and give them life. Loki literally becomes the new living temporal loom, and he assumes the god of stories. So now, literally, Loki is just in the center of the universe, holding time together, all the timeline, all the realities. And what's even cooler is... the He Who Remains, or not the variant, the actual He Who Remains warns him. He's like, if you do that, it will start a multiversal war that you can't stop, aka the Secret Wars. And he's like, I'll be willing to do it if it means people can live and like can have free will. But essentially, Loki has gone like throughout this whole character arc, and now Loki's like one of the most important characters.
I mean, way to go from like guy who's like broken and like not seen as a joke, but like seen as like a lesser, like especially I feel like that whole like Thor Loki type side stuff is like kind of like was thrown in, and now it's like no, he's like one of the most important people.
No, he's like the god of the MCU, Loki. And what's cool is the way they visualize it. It's like in the center of the universe instead of like. Because how He Who Remains had it, it was like this dilapidated purple like cosmic castle, but Loki's is like this giant tree, and he's like at the center of the tree. It's fucking dope. I thought it was sick. So shout outs to Loki season 2. Shout outs to Loki. Shout outs to Tom Hiddleston.
Loki.
And I just thought that show was absolutely incredible. I was very surprised with how good it was. I was not expecting to enjoy it that much. I was just at the very most I was expecting to watch a good Marvel show. I wasn't expecting to watch like a great show. So
shout out to good shows.
That was really great. Curious to see what critics say about it.
We like good shows.
I go on that whole tangent of people like Loki was the worst thing that's ever come out of Marvel.
No, we all know that.
No, I'm just curious. Let's see. Loki season 2.
I need a good show, you know. There's not been a good like sci-fi or like type of dramatic show that I've been into.
It's 82
lately. Like the last show I could think of that like I really liked like that was like seasons 1 and 2 of Walking Dead, maybe.
Damn.
Like that's the last show that I watched that I was like comedy's different. There's a lot of comedies you could just kind of jump in, watch them, hee hee ha ha, poop my pant, you know. But like when it comes to like dramatic shit, it's like really rare that like, or you have to go back and watch something like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. It's like you can't like, you know, go back and find that specific time.
Yo, I haven't watched. Bobby, have you watched any of Walking Dead?
Nope.
Those first few seasons were pretty good.
This is my take. Season 1 of The Walking Dead, like it's like 6 episodes, the fastest paced show ever. People are dying left and right. It's fantastic. Then they got picked up for like 4 seasons, and then they were like, all right, stretch this shit out. And then they made 2 parts of a season. And I was like, "What the fuck is this? Just make a full season."
Yeah,
and then they just started making half seasons. Carl,
I wasn't into that craze. That was like what, freshman year of high school? Right?
Yeah, high school.
Yeah. Early on, it was good, but it just kind of got stale, and it became like kind of like a Lost. Who are they gonna kill next vibe? Like no one's safe, as opposed to just like making a good fucking story.
It's like the OG Game of Thrones, bro.
That too. I couldn't get into Game of Thrones either. That was hard.
I've heard it's great.
Yeah.
I just caught up at the end, and then that shitty season came out. And I was like, well,
time to give up again. Oh man, yo, what's up with hockey?
Yeah, so firstly, I will not talk about hockey. I will talk about sports in general because a very interesting idea came about.
Okay.
And I think it should go one step further. So someone said there's a lot of podcasting going on in the sports world. The Kelsey brothers have a huge podcast. Every former basketball player ever, JJ Redick, Andre Iguodala has one, Draymond Green. Every player ever has a podcast. And in the off season, they do a lot. They do like 2 or 3 a week as opposed to like the 1 a week.
Yeah.
However, they start betting each other of who could play other sports. So now I'm thinking, hey, in the off season, they should just play the other team's sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want to watch like all the
Eli Manning dunk.
So it would probably go football to like basketball to football. Because I want to see like LeBron catch a pass. You know what I mean?
It definitely you definitely have to go basketball to football.
Because like those guys are good, would be really good at football. I feel tackling not so much, but like
football
actually
to baseball.
I forget who said, but someone came out and said that every football player just wants to be a baseball player.
It'd be interesting to watch baseball to basketball. That'd be weird.
That'd be weird.
I feel like they wouldn't be good.
A lot of shorter, bigger people. Just like
there's some thick ass guys out there. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be entertaining as shit.
No. Honestly, put the football people in hockey.
They're all falling over each other.
They're all falling. A 300-pound dude just breaks the glass.
My God. Mixed sports. I like this.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't really work, but I feel like maybe you do maybe like a flag football.
So that being said, let's say Dylan Diaz is the commissioner of the Coalesced Sports League. I don't know if let's just say that's what it's called, right? CSL. You can fucking make any matchup you want, any athlete, any sport. What's your go-to? What's your blockbuster? We're selling all the tickets out matchup.
That's so interesting. I don't know. Like I just like to think. Like I said, I think that all of the basketball players playing football would do just like seeing fucking.
So you get a bunch of NBA all-stars, like put them on two
Wemby
teams.
catching a pass.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
So here's another question: what NBA player would be the best running back?
Ooh, that's.
And why is it LeBron James?
I don't know.
Not anymore.
I think it's LeBron still, bro.
Because it's like you have to think of like, because back in the day, I'm thinking like, because running backs are usually the shortest people because they usually run up the middle. But now I'm thinking like someone like Ja, like some type of like weird like kind of shifty
LeBron?
guy.
Because LeBron is fast. LeBron is fast, like surprising.
Yeah, he's still fast.
He's still really fast, like to the point where you'll see him fall on the floor, and then the ball comes up and he blocks, and you're like, how the fuck did he do that? And he played football. I think he was a running back too.
Yeah, honestly, that's the most upsetting part about sports.
They have to pick one.
That it's like these guys were good at like 3. Yeah. Like there's all of these athletes. Like I want to say that there's like 4 quarterbacks in the NFL that also got drafted into the MLB.
Holy shit.
Like it's like, come on, like save some fucking talent, bro. Like really, like am I that shitty? The answer is yes.
How much of that really translates from throwing a baseball to throwing a football?
I think it's just they're just a freak athlete and they make it work.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming like if you're a quarterback, you probably can also pitch.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is with most athletic people. They tend to be
just
well-rounded.
Freaks.
Yeah. It's like that with athletic and with artistic people.
Yeah, and then you just don't choose football. You go straight to baseball and get some bread.
And despite all of this, I feel like the sport that has the most crossover is just you have them all fucking go bowling. Call it quits. No other sports.
Nah, bro, like Steph Curry, Derek Jeter darts, bro. That's it right there. I would actually love to watch that.
They're doing their signature moves. He's doing a step back dart. Jeter's doing the throwing dart. Like, so fucking stupid, bro.
It's incredible.
Oh, man.
Steph does a look away.
But yeah, I feel like there is a certain sport known as le hockey. I went to a game last week to watch the very mediocre New York Islanders. If you want to watch a team that's either really good or the worst team ever, go see the Islanders.
Yeah.
But what a fun fucking sport. I mean, scoring is at an all-time high, like in like 15, 20 years.
Like in the game?
Scoring is up. Like teams are just scoring 9, 10 goals now, just randomly. Fighting is up. just body check. Everything is just elevated. Like everything is just at an all-time high. They
rewrote the script.
They really rewrote the script, and now this is the last year. So the problem that really holds the NHL back is the money.
Okay.
There's not a lot of money involved. In fact, the last 3 years, the salary cap has been exactly the same. Whereas like in other sports, like in basketball, there's basketball players who make $35-40 million a year. Mm-hmm. There's bench players in basketball who make like 15. Yeah. The highest paid NHL player makes 13.
That's crazy.
Average is like not a lot.
Yeah.
So if you could really, but what that causes is all the middling guys make like half of that, and it's like, no, a mediocre guy shouldn't make like they should make nothing then. If the other guy should make more. But now, starting next year, the salary cap is going up 5%, 10%, like it's going up and up and up. So now, if shit's crazy now, how crazy is shit gonna be in 5 years?
That's looking gonna make hockey that much more watchable.
The only thing they need to fix is no one knows what the fucking rules are. Like someone will go into the penalty box. My girlfriend will be like, "What happened?" I'll be like,
"I don't know."
And then like the NFL, the NHL is really big now on the hand movements. So you know how like it's like holding and stuff like that. The NHL has their own ones. Gotcha. So tripping is like a like a trip. You know what I mean?
It'd be even better if all the signs are just like really elaborate ice skating maneuvers, like they're doing triple pirouettes.
Yeah, it's like
technical.
It's like, damn, you got kicked out of the game. It's like, yeah, that's what you get. Let's count. Kicked out of the game. Yeah. But I just
triple axel.
Yeah, and I saw one the other day. Like the guy was just like, I guess the ref didn't have to call this one before, but he was like, a legal check to the head. Like he was like that. Like he was trying to figure out what. He looked at the other ref like, what's the move? What's the head
here?
movement?
Or is
it check to the head? Do I reenact it? Do I gotta clock this guy in the face?
It's incredible.
But go to your local hockey game, whether you're in Arizona or Columbus.
Nah, bro, puck that.
Puck that? Man, that's cold, bro.
I don't give a puck, bro.
That's cold. That's so cold, bro. It's not very nice.
We're just going to skate on to the next thing, okay?
That's pretty...
All right, before we end this, you got anything to add, Jerry?
I have been thoroughly entertained by the greatest meme this year so far.
Which I alluded to.
So, wait.
I alluded to this before.
I need you to talk about this.
Bro, so I don't know when it started, but it feels like it started like after Halloween, like right after Halloween. Right?
It started when Jerry talked about it.
That's the scary thing.
Like I thought, because for a while I was in the algorithm where I'd get the meme before anyone else. Like as soon as a meme is created, right. I got the follow up. I have connects. I have people calling me like, "Hey Dylan,
where did this come from?
This meme, it's evolving in this way." So Jerry informed us of one that came out probably like last week.
Yeah, so it's a relevant theme to my interests.
Which is half. Yeah, not all of them.
The microwaved honey buns, the incinerated, the molten honey buns being tossed at homeless people.
So hold on. There's a lot I want to pick at.
No, it was so just I hate this because it became so much a part of my life. Like I went from not seeing any of these to every third video mentioning this phenomenon.
And you know why this is so relatable? Because I used to microwave my honey buns.
Of course, yeah. And you would microwave it too long and it'd be boiling fucking hot.
Yeah,
and it'd be like, damn, this is.
You can only do it for like 10. So 10 seconds is a lot.
And what if you had a stronger microwave? You use someone else's microwave that's way stronger and burn your fucking mouth.
First of all, I think Dylan and I can both attest that Jerry is a honey bun expert. Okay, Jerry knows a thing or two about honey buns and their frosted variants. Okay, yeah. I've known Jerry for a very long time. In fact, we were just talking on the walk to my house from Joey's house that we're getting to a point where we've known each other for about half of our lives now, which is crazy.
Yeah, kind of wild.
And ever since I've known Jerry, he has loved honey buns.
Yeah.
That's a stagnant thing. So when Jerry told us one day that he was getting a surplus of memes where people were, theorizing, not actually, but theorizing.
But talking about the act.
Yeah, of throwing honey buns at homeless people. I was just like, how does Instagram's algorithm know you this well, And then what I find even crazier about it is at first it was just the honey buns, but then it started to evolve where it's like, microwaving them, and it's like, whoa, there's like an extra level.
This Hunnybun is a billion degrees.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, this is like turning into a whole. And you know what's funny? I was working out the other day. Not something I really should be thinking about when I should be focused on my workout. But I was like, I'm kind of surprised no one's thrown a Hunnybun at a homeless person yet. Like, it feels like some dumb kid is gonna just do it at one point.
Yeah,
but I just,
I mean, there are kids riding subways and shit. So
yeah, bro. So it just surprises me. But what a fucking obscure meme.
And literally,
Jerry blew up.
Yeah, literally within like 6 hours, I go back onto my phone, open Instagram, click the first reel, and it's a fucking baseball page posting the fucking Randy Johnson throw, like me winding up.
It didn't happen until Jerry mentioned it. I swear, I'm not like, and the way it was so nonchalant. He was like, "Guys, so I'm like getting these memes," and we laughed about it. And then like right after, like every day, it was like, when you heat up that Hunnybun, I'm like, what the fuck? It's such a like a specific thing too.
And there's so many reference videos. Like somehow it'll be a video that I'm like, there's no way there's gonna be anyone even throwing something. And sure enough, here comes someone's arm about to throw it. And I'm like, if this was a Hunnybun, and that's the homeless guys.
Do yourselves a favor, guys. Buy a Hunnybun for a homeless man. Don't throw them at the homeless man. Let's be good people, especially if you're a younger viewer.
I'm surprised that has to exist. Like someone like the good ending,
with the sappy music,
the good
playing.
ending. Yeah, it's like,
hey man, can I get you one of these? Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. He whips out a second one, throws it at him.
That sad TikTok song. Sounds like somebody's crying. Oh yeah, that's great.
That's content.
See, we're good at this stuff, guys. You know.
What's the next meme to take off? You guys want to, like, because it has to be like an A and a B, you know?
Yeah.
Dylan, I'll be real. If anybody knows, it's you, dog. You're the fucking.
I mean, I couldn't predict the fucking Hunnybun. I could not predict the fucking meme of. Well, I mean, if I thought of something, it would probably be something that already existed and then just like would get popular.
How about walrus coochie?
Walrus coochie.
That's the next big meme.
That's the next big.
Give it 2 weeks. Get ready. Get ready.
Nah, I
think it's been another meme, calling cats cars.
Calling cats cars.
Yeah, like a typo. You just write it like a car.
I get that one a lot. No, me and Jerry are on the same wavelength. You gotta. Bobby doesn't watch enough animals. Maybe I think that might be the problem.
They're like, why the car making that noise?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the next, it's like Trump is really into manga or some shit. You know, like that's the next meme. You know, it has to be like relevant, or you know, it really has to.
I'm telling you, wait till the next One Piece season comes out. It's absolutely great.
You gotta read it the other way. I didn't even know.
He activates fifth gear. It's absolutely incredible. I'm telling you, it's gonna be animated perfectly.
Yeah, there's been a little fall off of AI memes too, right?
Man, yeah. But anyway, it's time for Jamie and Bam Slam. Not that I want to talk about it. I just also wanted to mention I saw some highlights from the Republican fucking debate that went on, and that shit was hilarious. It was like the League of Doom. But anyway, fucking, you know, music. You know,
but Danny,
anybody wanna start this?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go. My yam of the week is Faisal. Faisal by Fred Again.
Ooh,
oh yes,
he's a homie.
He's a homie. I mean,
he does a lot of this.
He's a lot of that. He's one of the few people who has a boiler room set and a tiny desk.
Bro, that boiler room set is fire.
Which is like pretty interesting that you have an artist that can. There's the crossover there.
You know who else has a boiler room set and a tiny desk?
Who?
Kenny Beats.
Yeah, he does.
He has 2 boiler rooms,
which are both pretty incredible. But yes, this is stereotypical EDM song. Takes way too long for the beat to drop, but when it does, it's a chill EDM song, so you don't need like that big drop. But I feel like he's on that level of like Nicholas Jar, understanding music, layering, all that shit.
My boy
feels good in the ear holes.
He is. I get that vibe a lot from him, actually. That's fire.
He understands music.
Big shout out to Dylan for showing me a really fucking cool showing us a cool YouTube video last podcast or after we wrapped, which was music that defined the 2000s done by Mike the Snare.
Mike the Snare, great YouTuber.
Ended up watching the other videos, music that defined the 90s, music that defined the 2010s. Great videos, but in that music, that video just kind of like reminded me of a lot of great music that came out in the 2000s. So I just really like to shout out Gimme More by Britney Spears.
Yep.
So gimme more, gimme more, gimme more. Not the greatest lyrics, but a great fucking song. Just
Banger.
take from it.
Banger alert.
All right. I haven't had a lot of new songs, so this isn't a song I listened to this week, but
Throwback.
it's a newish song that I
Okay.
found. Been using the Spotify DJ X.
Oh, the homie.
Yeah. So
Go,
I got
Jerry.
a song. It's your boy.
It's your boy, DJ. We're gonna play some sad emo music.
We got it's called. What was the first word of this? Oh, Airborne So it's not. I was gonna say Airborne Aquarium, but it's misspelled aquarium where the I and the U are switched.
That's
Aquarium.
Aquarium.
Yeah, by
Aquarium.
Currency. Yeah, it's a nice beat.
All right.
That's an interesting name.
Aerospace Aquarium. Shout outs.
Airborne.
Airborne Aquarium.
Yeah, aquarium.
Thanks for watching the Joystick Show. What a way to end that one. It'd be real helpful if you guys could like this episode of the Joystick Show. If you could subscribe to Team Joystick and get ready, because next week we'll be back here again. I made it sound like something special is gonna happen, but we'll just be here again. Maybe Joe will be back.
Maybe probably not.
My birthday's tomorrow, for what it's worth. By the time you see this, I'll be a year older. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yay! And until then,